Are you struggling to find money for your very first house flip? You are not alone. I'm Nicole, and I've been successfully flipping here in Charleston for the past few years, and we've done tons of projects. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through 6 different ways that you can fund your flip. And make sure you stay tuned to the end, because I'm gonna give you a strategy that can allow you to do a flip with 0 money down. This is our favorite strategy when we're purchasing a flip. All right, number 1, traditional loans. Yes, you can finance a flip with a traditional loan, but it's going to need to be a cosmetic renovation. And one of my best tips is have this be a live-in flip. We have done this in the past where we know something needs a little bit of work. You can get in with a low amount of money down because it is going to be your personal home. You go in, make updates to bring up the value of the home, and then you can either rent it out, move to the next flip, or sell it. You can also do this with just purchasing as a rental property or something like that, or a second loan, which is gonna require a little bit more money down, but the interest rate is gonna be better than hard money loans. The key here is you're really going to need to find a home that doesn't need a ton of renovation. Now, there are a couple other conventional loan products that do allow renovation, but from talking to our lenders, it is a huge hassle. And when we're in real estate, a lot of times time is money, and we want to move as fast as we can to get the best deals. But if you can make it work, I love the traditional loan to get into something, especially if you're living in it, doing those value adds throughout time, and then turning around and selling that home and just rinsing and repeating this strategy. So my 3 tips with using this strategy are going to be: make sure that you have really worked on your credit score. This is how you're going to get your best terms and your best rate. Number 2, talk to different lenders. See who can give you the best terms for the least amount of money down. And number 3, with this, just keep it simple. Choose properties that need just cosmetic updates where you can come in and add value that way. All right, number 2, hard money loans. We use these all the time on our projects. These loans are ideal for homes that are completely trashed, distressed. A conventional lender, there's no way they're gonna lend on them. And also, if your credit score is hurting a little bit, there are hard money lenders that will loan to you. Now, just keep in mind, you can shop this just as you would any other lender. Some are going to require a higher credit score and some aren't. But at the end of the day, all of these loans are based on the asset on the project. My 3 tips for using a hard money lender are: 1, come up with a detailed plan and scope of work. Make sure that you know your ARV, you're presenting that to the lender with comps, that you're also going through your renovation budget and being very clear about what you're gonna do to get to that ARV. The great thing about hard money lenders is they're not gonna lend to you if it's not a deal. So make sure that you're really doing your due diligence and making sure that your numbers are as accurate as possible. Submit them to that hard money lender and they're gonna let you know. I actually really like this because this is just another layer of protection for you, because they are giving you this money and they have very certain requirements that they expect from it. Hard money lenders, they're good for that reason as well. The next tip is just be prepared for higher interest rates. These loans are so much easier to get because they are based on the asset. You don't have to go through a ton of requirements. It's not like a conventional loan, and they move fast. So make sure that you are underwriting these properties in a way that's profitable for you, and just account for these higher interest rates when you're doing it. All right, our 3rd way to fund a flip is private money. I absolutely love this way of funding a flip. This really allows you to be creative with the terms and your lender. And a lot of times, if you're hitting up friends, family, people that you know, you're giving them an opportunity to make way more money on something than they could if they just had it in a traditional stock market. My recommendation is that you give your private money lenders a great rate of return. What I also love about this is the terms can be completely negotiable. So when you're going to a conventional lender or a hard money lender, they already have their terms set in stone. They tell you what it looks like to work with them. When you're working with a private money lender, a friend, a family member, you guys can go in and see what works for both of you and just create this awesome win-win. And this is why I really love this strategy. Tip number one that I have when you're working with private money lenders is, even though you may be using friends and family, or maybe somebody that you've met, I want to make sure that you are still presenting this in a super professional way. Come to them with a credibility packet of past projects you've done, successes that you've had. If you're a new investor and you have not done a deal yet, that's fine. Still come to them with a very laid out packet. Make sure that it looks professional. If you don't know how to do this, you can jump on Fiverr. You can ask another real estate investor. My recommendation here, if you're a brand new flipper and you don't have this, make a packet about the property, what you're going to do to it. Detail out finishes. Make it so detailed and so clear with the numbers of what you're going to do. And bonus points, network with another investor who has done tons of flips and have them look back and approve the packet. Say, hey, does all of this look right? Does all of this make sense? Somebody who's really experienced in the industry will be able to say, yes, this looks right. And then you can also let your friends and family know, hey, I spoke with an investor and they've done over 100 flips. They looked at this project and they said, hey, this is a really great deal. And also by doing that, maybe that flipper will be your private money lender. So that's just a key tip if you don't have it, but just come at this super professional, because it's going to give you the credibility you need to have people believe and invest in you. Tip number two, offer attractive rates. I personally wouldn't go to a private money lender and offer them 5%. We offer 12% on our project just because we want to make sure that our private money lenders are taken care of. But this is completely negotiable. You can offer 8%. You could offer 0% and an equity stake in the project. This is what I love about it, is you can really craft this and create a win-win for you and the person that's lending with you. And then tip number three, as you're going through the project, just maintain clear and open communication about what's going on with the project, what stage you're in, send some pictures and let them know, hey, this is where the project's at, this is how we're looking, so they feel confident in their investment with you. Number four is seller financing. This is such a cool way to really create a good scenario for you and the person selling. As we know, hard money lenders can be very expensive. If you can negotiate seller financing, the seller can actually keep more money in their pocket, and this can allow you to make more deals work. With this case, if you also do seller financing and you needed some money for the rehab, you can also bring in a private money lender or partner to make that happen, use a line of credit, something like this. But when you're looking at your numbers and you're using a hard money lender, sometimes that can be the difference between somebody saying yes or no, where there's $50,000 that lender is going to take on the deal. You could put that back in the seller's pocket by asking them to seller finance you, and you could do a balloon payment at the end of your fix and flip. This is a little bit more tricky to negotiate, but when you can do it and sellers are open to it, this is such a great solution. So tip number one is just look for people who might be willing to do a seller financing option. Maybe they have a lot of equity in the property, or maybe you can do a little bit more of a creative option where they don't have a lot of equity in the property. You can still make the numbers work and you take it over subject to the existing loan. Tip number two is negotiate terms that work for both parties. This is great when you can sit down with a seller and create a scenario that works for both of you. So take the time and make sure that you're creating, again, just another win-win scenario, because if you're running your business on scenarios that win for you and the person on the other side of the transaction, you're going to be so successful. And tip number three is just making sure that you have everything buttoned up legally. You have all of your agreements in place because you want to make sure that everyone is protected in this transaction. All right, number five, using a home equity line of credit. Now I can already feel people might come for me in the comments on this one because it is using the equity of your home. Now this isn't always for everybody because you are using your residence, your place, the place where you lay your head down every night and sleep to fund a project. We personally do this. We don't mind doing this. This is just part of our business process. So you have to just figure out what feels comfortable for you. But it's such a good strategy to get extra cash and at a better rate than hard money lenders. So you can go in, get what's called a HELOC, which is a line of credit against the equity of your home, and you make a draw on that line of credit. You put it into the project. When the project's done, you take that money and you pay back the loan. And so that's my most important tip for you on this, is when you are using money to go into a project, if you're using it on your home equity line of credit, you pay yourself back that money every time when the project's done. Don't keep that money in your business bank account and start using it for other things. Make sure that it's really clean. And this is how you can really accelerate your business using the equity of your home while still being in a safe space of not getting into too much hot water with over leveraging. So tip number 1 is just sit down and assess your property value of your home. See if it makes sense. Speak with anybody else who's involved, as far as a spouse or anybody else who has interest in the property, about your plan first. But look at the equity and see how comfortable you feel going up. There are different lenders who will lend different amounts on a home equity line of credit. So look at how much you have and then determine what feels best for you in a line to pull out from a bank. Number 2 is shop rates here. Shop terms. When you're going to different banks, they're going to offer you a wide variety of terms. Or they're going to offer you up to 80%, 90%, 70% of the value of your home. And then rates are also going to vary. We have a lender who is offering us for the first year 5% on that loan, which is amazing. We also have other lenders that do prime plus 1. So go shop your rates, see what is the best fit for you. And then tip number 3, and I touched on this a little bit, just use these funds very strategically. When you use them and you're very conscious about how you're using them and you're making sure that you are actually getting a good deal and you're putting this money into a project that you are going to get the money back and you're going to profit, leveraging money this way can allow you to do so many more projects a year and in turn really just help grow and build your wealth and your flipping business. All right, number 6, and this is our favorite strategy we use all the time to get into projects for zero money out of our pockets. And this is combining hard money lending and private money lending. What this looks like, and we discussed this in several other videos a little bit more in depth, is you will get a hard money loan, and then any money that you need that's going to go into the project that's going to fund the renovation until you can get your draws, any down payments, monthly payments that you're going to need to make, you can actually go to friends and family or other real estate investors and say, hey, I need a second position lien and I will give you this return. This is called gap lending. So we use hard money to do the bulk of the loan, and then we allow somebody to come in a second lien position and cover all the other costs. And this is how we get into things with no money down. And again, this is just one of my favorite strategies. Tip number 1 on this is really outlining your hard money loan costs, making sure you know all of your numbers, and then how much gap funding that you actually need. Sit down and add up what that's going to look like and get a clear plan in place for what you need and how you're going to use it. Tip number 2 is ensure that your private money lenders understand their security in the deal and how the deal is going to flow. Send them the numbers, let them understand that you are still keeping them in a very safe and secure position. And also, you're going to let them be in a second lien position on the property where it's recorded and gone through your title company or attorneys. Tip number 3 is to present a cohesive plan to your private money lender. This is the same as if you were funding the whole project with private money. Give those credibility packets, explain what's going to go on with the project, the numbers and everything, so you can instill confidence in the people who are investing in the project with you. All right, there you have it. Those are our 6 ways that you can fund a flip. And just remember, the key to success is researching each option and determining which one best fits your scenario. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment below, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribing for more content just like this.